And how are we doing in there, if you don't mind me asking? Okay, we're talking about Queens. Okay, we're talking about something here. This is the Brain Tool channel. If you're just becoming new here, the Brain Tool channel. That's all. That's all one word. And welcome to the other side of my brain, which has been beyond in the process. That's what this channel's about. My brain and how many and what makes a brain, like happen, and how you can squeeze it, of all the ideas and stuff. And that's about me. And other fun and amusing and satisfying things, including the topic I'm going to bring up right here and right now. Down syndrome. How society is only how society really acts to people or individuals, if you want to. How society really reacts to people who have Down syndrome. And by the way, this is more about acceptance, and this is and by the way, this is more about acceptance and unacceptance, not just about Down syndrome. This is not like it's about the inner quasimodo, the hunchback of Notre Dame. What I want to jump into, if you don't mind me stuttering, with a bathing suit on, into the accepting and disaccepting the whole, what I wouldn't mind calling the quasimodo syndrome, Down syndrome, and working around and just doing and just going around and around and around the baseball diamond of or the football stadium of Down syndrome, and how it's really useful, and how toasted and buttered, and how toasted and buttered, and about how toast and buttered, and about how toast and butter it is. Like I never such love. I never thought it was so much hate. There would be so much confusion and resentment toward people of the Down syndrome community, the Down syndrome sphere, and making them look like ingredients of Frankenstein's monster, like they are. They're not. They're people too. And just because I guess if you want to call it this, and just because I'm and just because I'm a candidate of people of, and just because I'm a candidate for people who have Down syndrome and have Down syndrome myself, doesn't mean that And like just because I'm what you might call a candidate for people for Down syndrome and stuff, and having that myself does mean does does not mean I entirely fit or fit at all in that way of doing stuff. You know, like I mean, you could say, like I mean, you would say I was the outlaw. Like it could say I'm the outlaw of Down syndrome. You know, and and it didn't say, and you could say I was the quasimodo of it as well. But I mean, come on, like not not everybody is in acceptance of someone being different and not looking for their human qualities. Pardon me. I'm having some cereal here. I nearly ripped it up. See? I'm having some cereal. I nearly, yeah. But I didn't come here to talk to you about that. I didn't, like if I ever had a dream or a wish, I want people, I, I want people to accept people. I want people to accept other people as people instead of partly looking at them from their Down syndrome exterior. Like, I mean, come on. It's Down syndrome. It's just a description, a label, you know. And and I'm sick to death. And and I'm so dead. And and I am so sick to the neck. And I am so sick and tired of people pushing them around and making them look like they're Frankenstein's monster or something, or like the Igors of the Down syndrome community. They they are far from it. They are far from that. You know, just like I mean, just because a fella has Down syndrome, you think they were you think they were you think they were Frankenstein's monster or Igor. Like what? That's like I mean that's pretty candy cane for you know like I mean that's pretty candy cane about like I mean that's pretty candy cane thinking. You know that's pretty that's pretty candy cane thinking because who who really deserves that? I I don't deserve to get the Igor treatment from society when I'm not Igor. I and but to society you think but from society's point but from society's um but with but from society's view of it, you would think I was Igor. You know, I'm not. Neither is anyone who has Down syndrome. You know, where and they're not really my brothers and sisters because I never really had that type of relationship with them. You know, when you share when you have only one thing in common with folks like that, and I'm not running anyone down under the table. I'm not trying to throw the newspaper at anyone, but having having only one thing in common with other folks of the same genes, Down syndrome we're talking about. Like I mean that could screw up a fella for life. You know, knowing that that was the thing that brought on the forest fire of not being understood, not being uh, uh, you know, and being more like misunderstood. Like, I mean, you know, it's a forest fire that no one should really be in. You know, like it got started. Like, I mean, the forest fire of, you know, of all of this can be very damaging to someone, especially if they don't have Down syndrome, and and learn and and learn that that's not a person. Well, excuse me, Poindexter. Excuse me, excuse me, Poindexter. But who? But who? But who has the right to write? But who has the right of saying that these people are accepted and these people aren't? Like, I mean, holy jumping Moses! What else on with that? Like, I mean, what's with that? You know, let's let's hold up let's hold up the flag and saying we're not like let's hold up the flag that says all people that are different should be labeled as Igor. You know, like they're just big and hairy and all this. No, they're not. Well, they're big and I mean, we're big and hairy, but we're not Igor. Okay, we're big and hairy, but we're not Igor. You know, like we are very good looking people. You know, just just because we have the Down syndrome exterior does not take away from our good looks. Just because I have the Down syndrome exterior doesn't give away, does not mean that I'm not good looking. I'm telling you right now that I am good looking. And I don't need anybody's approval or, and I don't need anyone's approval on if I'm good looking or not. I am. Everybody who has Down syndrome or Asperger's or whatever, they are good looking. But in society's view of it, we're not. And it's not. And again, I'm not trying to throw the newspaper in anyone's face. I'm not trying to throw you at the judge, you know, of this, but not. But I mean, come on. Like, I mean, do I look like I was raised yesterday? Like, do I look like I was born yesterday? Do I look like I fell off the turnip truck? People, 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 or folks with Down syndrome are very good looking. You know, some of some of us might not be able to talk or not be able to communicate as well as me. Okay, all right, there's that, but it doesn't mean to say that they're not good looking people. Like, I mean, if you want to, but if you want to date back, but if you want to start, but if you want to, but if you want, but if you, but if you want to separate the downs from the ups of Down syndrome, you don't have to go very far. Just watch the Hunchback of Notre Dame, the Walt Disney version of that, or any version of that, but more the Walt Disney version of that. There's like I mean the antagonist, the antagonist is Quasimodo, being you know raised with a deformed back, and you know that's how he was as a baby. And Frollo didn't understand that. He didn't see that this guy had human qualities. He saw he he saw a description of like evil. You know what Frollo saw was evil all over this kid. He had no feelings for the kid really. He wanted to throw him down the well. You know, how how who's I mean, how is that not a narrative? Like, I mean, how is that not a narrative of Down syndrome? There's always there's always somebody trying to get us, and there's always somebody trying to throw us down a well or some kind of rabbit hole. So, you know, and so and so and so Frollo gives this little infant that was just born different and raises and basically raising him up to feel like a monster. Like he was good to Frollo. Like he had use. Like, I mean, Frollo had the use for him, which he didn't in the beginning. He was forced to keep him alive, and you know he kills off the mother, thinking that she's evil, and she's not. But long shot, if she was evil, she wouldn't have had that kid. You know, like she wouldn't be a good person. Like, I mean, you know, like we're talking about the life of a life of a life. Like, and like rather and like and it's and that movie there, the Disneyverse, in the Disneyverse is a bright is based on a cruel, dark perception of how people are treated just because they're different. Like, I mean, how is that not a Down syndrome? Uh, like, I mean, how is that not a Down syndrome move? You know, being judged because you're different. Being being told that you're small and stuff. Like, I mean, come on. I think I've seen some pretty flippin' good-looking people. Like, I've been around the corner more than a few hundred times, and people with Down syndrome, they are not Frankenstein's monster. They are not Igors. Just because they look, just because they're different doesn't mean that they're that way. Like I refuse. Like I refuse. Like I refuse to be bowing down to anybody that thinks that just because I'm different, that gives people a license to put a foot or feet on my head and telling me that I'm not a good looking fella. Like, I mean, think about it. You're putting a foot on my head just because I'm different. That's the way of the world, man. That's the way of the world. Like, right? Like, I mean, why can't people see that? Quasi- Quasimodo is a walking, talking representative. Wow, I can't believe that word came into me. Quasimodo, the hunchback, is a walking, talking. Uh, I just said it. Uh, Representative of Down syndrome. Like he's getting like he's getting knocked like he's getting knocked around by society. He's getting blamed by Frollo, the one who's supposed to take care of him and be his, you know, adopted father. He's not even that. He's an idiot. Like I'm talking about Frollo here, okay? he wanted to throw him off, kill him, and he raises him with like the IQ, and he raises him to have the IQ of a monster. I mean, holy Christmas! That's the way of the world, man. Throwing it down, throwing it down, confusing you, giving you like everything from this to that. You know, thank God for Esmeralda. Like, I mean, thank God for Esmeralda and Phoebus. Thank God for those guys. Yep, because if it wasn't for them, Quasimodo wouldn't have been able to come back with a sequel, The Hunchback of Notre Dame 2, which is actually the same thing, but it's actually the same movie, but it's a different plot. You know, he had he got friends. He had got himself some friends other than just the gargoyles, which were the first ones to know that he was a good guy. You know, like I mean, okay, all right. So Quasimodo is a something of a gargoyle himself, you know, because he's isolated. But come on, okay, all right. Put down the flag that says Down syndrome and Quasimodo is not a thing here. You know, like Quasimodo had to fight to get into the I want my independence. Rather I'm born with a hunch or not. You know, that was him, and that was still him when the Festival of Fools was making fun of him and throwing tomatoes at him. You know, like I mean, that could be me. Like I mean, that scene always gets to me where he's tortured. Like at first you're celebrating him, and then they're like throwing tomatoes at him and ropes, throwing rope at him and throwing tomatoes and laughing at him and making him even more of a monster than Frollo did. But they don't. But they don't see like I mean, they ought to be the people that are looking at him for who he really is from the inside instead of going, "Hey, this guy's ugly." He's not ugly. He he might be like different, but that doesn't give anybody a license to throw him under the wheel. You know, like I mean, think about it for a minute. How, how many people would love to throw tomatoes at me and make me feel like a monster, make me feel unwanted? I, like I mean, I don't get it. I don't get it how people can be that mean, and I think and they got the nerve to think, well, what's wrong with me? Well, what are you doing? Well, I mean, why? Well, okay, you think you don't have a problem when you're the one that's making a problem for other people that are different than you. To you, you know, to you. If you were really looking at the person side of people with Down syndrome, you wouldn't you would have been accepting the fact that okay, they're different. So what? Like I mean, what's the next? Like you know, if you really knew, like if you really stopped to think that oh, we shouldn't be doing this to these other people because they're different. You know, we should be getting along with them, and we should be consoling each other, being each other's brother and sister. Same goes for people. Same thing that goes with folks with being transgender. Uh, uh, like the black transgender women thing. Like same thing with them. Like instead of getting tomatoes in the face in this. They should be celebrated, you know. So, like all I'm saying, like all I'm trying to say is watch what you're doing. Watch what comes out of your mouth. Watch what is. Watch how you are doing things around being so. What's the word I'm looking for here? Uh, Self-righteous about people that are different from you. Like I mean, you would like oh my god, like just wake up and smell something, okay? Like if Quasimodo is Quasimodo is a person to me and to anybody else before and after me, you know. He's the representative. Quasimodo is the representative of Down syndrome, and will add it. He is the he is the guy who's most likely to get friends because he's different. You know, like I mean, come on, who's many? How many people are going to do that? You know, Say, give Quasimodo the you know the middle finger. I mean, that's not very nice. That's not very nice at all. Who I wouldn't want anybody to give me the middle finger just because I was different. I mean, if they want to, that's their own. If they want to, fine. But I'm just going to. But I'm just going to ignore it. I'm going to turn the. I'm going to turn the other cheek. I'm going to go away from it. You know, like. And I'm sorry this thing is getting longer and longer, but think about it for a minute. Think about it. We need people like Quasimodo to help us see who we really are from inside, because that's the idea. That's the thing that's the thing I'm talking about, is that if Quasimodo can do it, so can I. You know, Quasimodo being the representative of Down syndrome, and getting this and that. Come on, you just need to step out of the shadows and show that you can be a good guy too. You know, help people that are different. Help people to realize the the human features instead of the Down syndrome features of people that are different. You know, that's what I'm saying here. You don't I'm sorry for making this long here, but well, think about it. You know, you're smart. You are smart up there. You you know the difference between laughing at somebody and making them feel like, why am I here? You know. So having said that and done that and talked about it, so having been there, so having done that and said that, um, I'm just giving my all around opinion and my ideas, about this, because I'm a damn good looking son of a guy here. You know, I'm a damn good looking son of a gun, and so is everyone else who has Down syndrome. Just because we're different, doesn't mean we couldn't help you be better people. Or no, just because we're different doesn't mean that we can't do the same things as everyone else. You know, we can do the same things as everyone else. We just need, we can do the same as everyone else. We might need to take different directions in knowing how to do it, but we can do it. I mean, come on, like, come on, like, just, think about it. And I know this is a lot to take in, so just watch this little by little, and if it takes 25, and if it takes, multiple times to watch this all the way through, to finally get my message, okay, great. So, having said that and done that, I'll see you, and I will see you, and all of the other herd-looking people that are watching this video later.